Okay, instead of life lessons, I decided to just tell stories. So I'm gonna tell a story that happened today. I went to trivia today, and because I don't have anyone to go to trivia with, I usually just go to trivia and just join a table and try to see what I can do. I'm pretty bad at trivia, but I feel it's the more that you're there and there, the more that you get exposed to it, you learn more. Anyway, I joined a table. It was I just asked hey, can I join you guys? And there was two gay men. Their team name was Still Single. And once the one of the guys left in the middle of the game, and then the other guy told me that apparently he had a crush on this guy. So he came with his friends and they called themselves Still Single. The guy at our table is still single because he wanted to hit on him. And the other, oh, I got lost in my thoughts. And then he told me, anyway, so I lost my train of thoughts. It's because it's the reason the reason that I just started to stop saying this is because as I was saying it, I was actually do I want to put this out in the internet? It felt like using someone else's secret to tell a story, and it's it's not worth it to tell someone else's secret on the internet, right? Do I owe him anything? That's a question, cause he was, no, he wasn't super nice. Once the other guy left, he was oh yeah, I was doing the this is a date until you came. I was I asked if I can join. You guys said yes. I was I'm sorry if this is. He's no, it's okay, blah blah blah, and we shared a cigarette and blah blah blah, and he was talking about how cute that guy is. I'm yeah, good for you, but whatever. And oh, he was hitting on me. I missed that part. I missed that part. The problem is, I didn't think he was cute. Also, I was just trying to be friends. But that's the problem. That's the problem. It's I'm trying to be friends with someone who's in a dating mindset and who's trying to hit on other people. So that clashes. That means that I'm making conversations and trying to, honestly, the thing is I just kind of want to know the person a little bit better, want to have someone to play trivia with, right? Oh, maybe I should just like join. It's like there are people who I know regularly play trivia, but I feel shy to go join their table, and though I see them every time. Maybe that would have like solved my problem if I would just like go join them. But instead, I joined like this guy who, well, like, their date was kind of like cute. And then I was going. Okay, got lost. Well, the part that I wanted to talk about was that those guys that I know who every time there's a group in trivia, they're like animators and like they draw like dick pics and like very like graphic like porn scenes every time on the like trivia paper thingy. And then uh, the girl like shows us every time. And the thing is like this time when like she was like showing like the photos and it was like just like it was like a lot of like dicks like shooting like whatever and stuff. And then this guy that like I joined at the table started told the girl like, do you think they're like thinking of you? And like she was like, no, they're like gay men, like whatever. And I was, yeah, weirded out, but I didn't say anything. And then this guy just like continued, it's like trying to like flirt very badly. It was very uninteresting. And honestly, I was just like, yeah, we had like really boring conversations. I could have just flirted back. Then he would have energy. You know, I think it just got boring because I was like judgmental. Huh. Yeah, it would help if I'm not. Because, like, technically, like, I can have fun with everyone. Could have just, like, showed interest, you know? But I didn't. Because, but, like, you know, that moment was my chance to connect with the girl on the fact that, like, yeah, that was kind of you, right? Like, what do you mean? They're like thinking of you. And of course they're not. Like, the fuck, dude? And then the guy left too. Because yeah, like he was literally there to just like flirt with the other guy. So like when the other guy left, he tried on me, didn't work, he left. And then I sat there alone and then it's like finished the trivia or whatever. And then like I saw like my friends around, but I was just like too tired. I should have just like go and like to my friends, but I didn't. And I just kind of like sat there and like everyone like left and then I was like, I guess nothing's happening. I'm just gonna go. So I started going. And then I went and like got a joint, came back, and then I was just like going around like thinking about things. I was like, I'm gonna try like one more time and like just go and like say hi to people and stuff. There's yeah trivia, like it's like have a little bit of more of an active presence. So I went and like said like hi. And, like the girl was outside. And like she was like kind of like I don't know, she's always like seems like pretty stressed out, but like okay, actually like that's the reason that like I started this because like I was starting to think like why she looks so like stressed out and stuff, right? And again, that's when I started thinking about okay, like that was the comment that like that guy made. Like if I was in her shoes, like I would be pretty like creeped out, right? Like before that it was just like all fun and games, like oh like they're just like drawing dicks and like whatever. And then this guy proposed this like fucked up idea in this girl's head that's like they're thinking about you, which is fucked up. No, they're not. They're clearly not. They're like animators and they're gays and they just do that stuff for fun. But like this guy creates a bad idea in this girl's head and she was like stressing out. Now, the second round, they drew like another like photo that was like fucking someone in the ass. And then like she was just showing that around and like the thing is like a lot of time I'm like listening. I wasn't looking at her eyes. So like her voice was just like, oh my god, this is so like cute or whatever. But then like I heard her saying, that's pretty vulgar, right? But like she was saying it with like a cheery voice. But then like I started to like think about context. And it's like the voice that she was making might have been cheery, but like she was freaked out in the head, you know? That's like, oh, these guys are like seeing me as the whatever. And then I went back and said like hi, and that was like one of the guys that's like drawing was there. I was like, oh, like you're one of the guys that draws and stuff. And like she was just like again, it's like stressing out and like whatever, and like she went inside. And I'm like, I talked to the guy and was like, we know each other. I was like, yeah, we like saw each other one time before and whatever. Because like I see his friends a lot more. And then this guy is just I think this guy I just only saw once and I don't remember his name actually. But anyway, I was just like saying hi and stuff. And like now I was thinking if from like the girl's perspective, I'm this like random guy that shows up to like the junction. Like she doesn't know that I'm like a regular at the bar, right? Because like she's only there like once a week. So she doesn't know that I'm like a regular person who just like goes like and hangs out at the bar. Like whenever I don't have anything else to do. She doesn't know that. So what she sees from her perspective is like I'm this like random guy that like shows up and like sits at a different table every time. And like she comes and say hi, and I'm like, hi. Because like the first time, like I just like said hi to her and like hang out, because like it was like the first time, and like she was the only person that I knew, because like she was the host, so like I talked to her. And then I like made friends and stuff, right? So like I don't actually like talk to her. Maybe I should have talked to her. Now like that was a perfect opportunity to like make a connection with her, right? And because like she was in her like host mode. I didn't catch up on that. I was like, oh, like why is she so weird and freaked out? And it's like, oh, she's just in host mode. So like she has a mask on. Like that's not her real face. She's like playing a role. That's why she's freaked out. And yeah, I had the perfect opportunity to be like, dude, like this is not that serious. Like, okay, from her perspective, she's I forgot. I I keep like getting connected to random things while it's like from my perspective. She was seeing me being this random guy who shows up at the event that she's hosting every time. Well, not every time, every once in a while. Every once in a while. And like hangs out at like different tables and stuff. And now like this table, like they brought up I was with a guy that like brought up that like vulgar thing. Then the name of the group was Still Single, and I think she thought that I'm hitting on her. Cause like she was in that like I think she was afraid of me. Like I'm not sure if like her like freaked outness was like in general, or like that like she was afraid of me because like she thought that like I'm there to hit on. And like I was not paying attention to her because I was just like focused on like my own things. Like I was trying to like connect with the guys that I want to connect. Because like for me like trivia is like one of my ways to socialize with like gay men that's not just sex, you know, like I because I want to have like friends in gay bars, you know, not people who want to fuck me in gay bars. That's been my like constant issue that like, you know, like whenever like we're going, I don't want to go to the bars with like people who are like looking to fuck other people, or like people who are just like that this like they either want to like fuck you or like fuck other people, like you know, they're just like friends with you so that like they have like a group so that they can go and like do their like scouting. And I want people who want to actually like do the activity, you know, like I want people who actually like want to like watch shows, want to do trivia, want to do the activity that we're gonna do. So that's that's my lesson, to like instead of like judging the ones who are not there for the activity, I can go join the ones that are, you know? I can just be friends with people who actually want to do the activity, not with people who are just like hanging around, doing nothing, trying to fuck other people. Yeah, I needed to smoke weed to be able to finally solve my social problem. Yeah, because, like, friendship needs work, just like a relationship. It's just like you just spend time together and listen to each other, you know? That's how friendship works. So, I guess I need to worry that much. Hmm. Oh. The thing is, I could have flirted with that guy. Hmm. But I didn't think he was. You know why? You know why? He had a beard that was like entangled. And like, that's the turn off for me. I don't know. Like, I never like just like messy beards and stuff. Cause like, it's itchy and weird when you like kiss actually. Like I like, yeah, I don't like bearded guys that much. I like soft beards, like just like a little bit, like just, I mean, of course I like myself, but in general, like in guys, like I don't like very like heavy beard because it's, I don't know. I don't like the texture of it on my face. My face is cute. I'm okay with like all that. But like that's me being picky, you know? It's learning. You know something I'm thinking of is that, yeah, like because I'm like being picky, then I'm like avoiding making connections because like thing is like flirting is not necessarily like cooking for sex or like relationship or whatever. Like you can just like flirt to build friendships, flirt to build like that's the like project that you're building kind of like with someone else, right? Like it doesn't need to be like defined necessarily like what type of relationship it is. It's just like you start building, it's like an opportunity to like build something. You start to like ask questions, like, you know, bring things up, like get people to talk about like talk to people about something that excites them, right? Like I'm good at encouraging people to talk and like getting them excited. I'm also hmm actually just like I do have a superpower when it comes to like flirting. But it's like, yeah, and then like I get like judgy and don't use it. But the thing is like if I use my flirting power in friendships, I am able to, yeah, build something that's actually new and exciting. Like every moment that like you spend together, every opportunity is just like a time to make a memory, a time to like do something new, like create something unforgettable. Like that's my superpower. I'm able to make magical moments, and you can just do that with everyone. Like that's that's the part I like forget. God, like people. One of my exes used to tell me I'm magic. And like there are other ones too who think of me. It's like the thing is, my exes remember me uh because I make special moments, because I make magic. And they think they're magical, but I'm the creator. Like, I'm the one that like brings that to life. It's like my energy. And I've only met one other person in my life so far. It's the same energy. Are they one? No, actually, I think there's more, but there's one who gets me. That's romance. That's the romantic. That's the mental synchronicity. Like it's world building. Like it's like you're using like your mental energy. You're using like your brain. You're using like your creativity to build a world around you. Like you're like the way that you're interpreting interactions, the way that like you're interpreting people, the relationship that like you're building with like other people, like that's the thing that like we build when we think about like social interactions when we're alone, like we're doing like this like world building, like there's like a private like persona inside of us, and then you have like these like layers of world, right? Like there's like every relationship that like you have with other people, every uh like take it like, yeah, if I'm like when my mom is in the other room, right? Like my relationship with my mom, so many layers, so many like there's like it's like it's our consciousness, and like it's the internal, I don't know what to call it, like it's there's like an internal like core in your brain, right? Like that's like making all the decisions, and it's like building your character, like the persona that we have, like because like it's just our brain is like making decisions based on a model that we're creating, right? And like we're creating that with our creativity, and like that's like how we choose to act and like we choose to behave. And like when you behave that way, now comes the part to get feedback on the other people involved, right? So, like, no, it's. I have too much, like, morality issues, you know what I mean? Like, it's just that, like, I'm like, constantly, like, oh my god, like, what if this or that? Also, at the same time, I'm like, what if, like, I'm actually, like, cooking something really cool here? I've been talking for like 37 minutes. Anyway, the saddest part, like the thing is, the part that I was like thinking about, like the part that just like got me to like a stop, was that like I was like thinking about like how brilliant like my mental world is. And then I just noticed the fact that while like I have all this like brilliance in like understanding the world around me, a lot of times I make decisions to be an observer instead of an active person in that world. And that's been something I've been doing since I was a kid. And I feel like that's like the thing that like people keep noticing about me, that like I'm like this like brilliant person, and I am, but with the cost of social isolation, because I am very good at like understanding the situation afterwards, but in the moment, I refrain from like taking action a lot of times, right? And I miss out on chances to make connections because focusing on that guy, which like was half-ass flirting, and I wasn't even like into flirting with him, and all that was just like the wrong choice, you know, like I wasn't into that. So I was just like hanging around, playing trivia, while like instead I actually enjoyed playing trivia though. I learned things. That's the thing. That's the thing. So the reason that like all of this is like you see like the more that like I go back to that memory, like I keep like getting sad and like getting like drained and stuff. It's because I am mentally connecting to connections that don't feed me. I'm like, this girl, probably terrified of me, thinks that like who am I? Who's just like there and like says like hi and stuff. You know, like to her, I'm this like weird guy that might or might not be hitting on her. Which I'm not, because like first of all, like I'm into boys. And second of all, it's like I'm like not into straight people in general. Like I don't remember last time I was into. I am into people who are smart. What am I into? That's a very good question. Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. That's the thing. Like I don't want. That's a dumb question. That's a dumb question. That's like the thing is, did I want to like be friends with her more? Yes, I did, because she seems like a cool person. I had an opportunity just like have a connection with her. That's all I needed, right? And now I didn't. If I was at trivia again, I'll have another chance to connect with her. If I was not, then I won't, you know? It's just as simple as that. Doesn't need to doesn't need to get more complicated than that. Like, that's a creative mind that, like, we're gonna disconnect from, because she's not someone worth paying attention to more now, you know? I feel for her, and I understand this part. This part, I feel like, is the part that's like, we have a girl who is like afraid of gay men to some extent, and afraid of sex, afraid of like dicks, afraid of like, because that's the part. It's like, it's that like, for like, to her, like, to me that was like a fun cartoon, right? And I was like appreciating the like animation and stuff, because like those guys are like animators. Like, I've talked to them before, like, about their jobs and stuff, and like we talked, they were like getting like, they're like worried about like, you know, chat GPT and things like taking over like their jobs and stuff. So like I connected with those guys on a human level. They're like creatives, and like they doodle for fun, in my opinion. But like, to her, probably because like she's not like exposed to the same thing, like to her those are like scary things. Like, that's, I feel like that's why, like, you know, like, I didn't clock these, like these didn't phase me in the moment, because like, no, like I didn't think that like drawing was like vulgar. I didn't think that like those guys are like thinking about her, like when they're like shoot drawing like dicks. I didn't think that like, I don't know, like I didn't think that like those are like erotic like drawings or whatever. I was just, I don't know, it was just like a normal context to me. It was like, felt like I am in like the gay context. That's like how they talk and stuff, right? But for her, these were scary, vulgar, whatever, because she doesn't have the same exposure, she doesn't have the same experience. And that comes from the way that like our society has treated women. Like, we grew up with like rapist stories, we grew up with like like as a girl, like there's always a time that like someone will come and tell you about like men with not good intentions. Like you get that warning from like your from the other girls basically, right? Like you were like, this guy is not to be trusted, kind of thing. And mm, I'm just like, sorry, my brain just like went off because I'm like, oh, like it's like because every time that like I'm like thinking like every world building that I'm doing, like it's just like different ideas like come to my head from like about like the social situations and stuff like that. Like for example, like uh I'm just thinking like whether I should like share that or not. Like I'm literally like it's just like paranoia and stuff, but like I'm literally wondering like because like I did this like I talk about like death and stuff a lot, and like I like think about death, and like I recently like posted this like video on my social media that was like gonna live my life till I'm gonna die young, blah blah blah. And then I'm like, do people think that like I'm uh suicidal, or like I was literally like thinking that like what if like people think that like I have like HIV or something, that so that like I'm just like kind of like freaked out about like consent, and like I'm like talking about like death and stuff, but it's like I'm very supportive of the like people with like HIV and things because I'm an active member of the community, not because I have HIV. But I'm just wondering, like, because you never know what kind of like gossip people will like create. It's the thing, it's like the world building that like we're doing is like, well, to be fair, like I've been on the other side of it too, right? Like, it's like someone was like talking about like how like some like indigenous like people like have a oh, oops. Oh. Sorry, I start things start to get boring because like I just start to like, think about too many things at the same time and I'm like, okay, maybe we need to like I don't know, I was just saying that like someone was like telling me that like, like how like indigenous people like some of the like indigenous people like, deal with HIV. So then like immediately like, I thought about like some of my like close like indigenous people that I know and like do they have HIV or not? Like something like that. So like I feel like it's just like something that like everyone can kind of think about, but like the important part at the end of the day is you being true to your own creative power and learning how to express that. Like the world that you're building, express that outside. Express that outside. That's the important part. That's like the choices that we make in our daily interactions. Like that's the contribution that we do to the human consciousness. That's the contribution that like we do to, because everyone is like doing their own role, right? Everyone's doing like their own thing. And some people have a pretty weak, like it's just the less creative you are, the less world building you have, like people build their own world. And to have a social life, to have a social life, you need to connect with people who think about social life so that like you can build something with them together. People who are like only out there to flirt, like people who are like only out there for like one specific person, then they're gonna fail, right? No. Like, okay, like I'm thinking, what if there is one person that I actually care about and I see every other interaction as becoming. So, what if every other interaction that I make is to become the person that I need to become for him to love me. No, not for him to love me. What if that's, you know, the world that I was building with him, the one that I shared with him? It wasn't like just something that I was doing with him, it was like more general, but like he was one of the people that I shared it with. It was the idea of like, what if the world is two lovers trying to find each other, you know? So every fight, every interaction, every oh, I genuinely don't know if this is like the world that I built. Is it real? Because like I literally feel like in a crazy way I am connected to this person. I don't know how. It's just, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy, actually. Cause like why? Like, see, like that's the part that I don't understand is that like the reason that like I find all these like signs and like these things that like connect me to him is that because we're actually connected, or is it because I've think about him a lot, so that's why I see the connection? It's like, as when I'm thinking about him, does that mean that he's thinking about me too? Okay. I think I'm gonna stop for now.